All right, I'm here in the Marker Hotel in Dublin, and you'll see from the placards behind me in Welsh territory, you'd imagine, but we are in fact in Dublin, not Cardiff. I'm joined by two bona fide Welsh legends, 166 appearances for Wales between them. We have Neville Southall, one of the greatest goalkeepers of all time, of course, just to 750 appearances for Everton, not bad. A couple of league titles, a couple of FA Cups as well in there, and the man on the outside there as well, Ian Rushe, 346 goals, I think it is, Ian, for Liverpool, 5 league titles and 2 European Cups. You're both very welcome, lads, and I suppose I wanted to start by asking, I know, Neville, you're an Everton legend, but Ian, you grew up as an Everton supporter, am I right in saying?
Yes, that's it. I used to go and watch Everton play when I was a kid, and I remember when I was playing for Chester, and the manager, Alan Oakes, said Everton are coming to watch you. And Gordon Lee was the manager at Everton at the time, and never forget, in them days it was newspapers, not like social media, it was newspapers, and he said, and Bertie said, like, Ian Rushe was not good enough to play for Everton, and I was gutted, to tell you the truth. I was gutted. Then three months later I signed for Liverpool, and it was in me back of my mind there, I'm going to make Everton pay.
I have often wondered, like, when, like, say, you're both Welsh teammates. You were Welsh teammates, of course, throughout the 80s and part of the 90s. But when you're both playing for a rival, Everton and Liverpool, rival clubs in Merseyside, are you still able to kind of socialise and go out together in Liverpool, or is it a case of, geez, you can't be seen as a toffee and a red together? What was your experience of living in the same city but playing for very much rival teams now?
Well, Rushe used to go to different places from me, to be fair. much different places. No, look, I think it's just mutual respect. And I would have never thought of him as an enemy. I just thought of him as a great player. And you want to play against great players in your career. And the more times you played him, the better it got. And what I thought what was nice is we never really spoke about it with Wales. We just, whatever the score was just gone, we were concentrating on Wales. So yeah, we didn't really have a problem with that at all.
One of the famous games where you came up against each other was the 89 FA Cup final, 3-2 Liverpool, instant classic. Ian, you with the 2 goals for Liverpool that day. A load of Irish lads on I know Kevin Sheedy was on your own team, and you had Staunton and who else? Whelan, Aldridge, Houghton. It was an Irish team, a lot of lads there. What was it like coming up against this guy? I mean, he made your life hell that day particularly, but and Liverpool got over the line. But it's still one of those FA Cup finals that you can maybe look back on now and think, geez, what a classic of a match to be involved in.
Well, it wasn't really, because we lost.
Maybe not for Everton fans. Sorry.
Yeah. No, look, we were never in the game really till we made a substitution. I think Stuart McCall came on, changed the game a little bit. It was boiling hot, and to be fair, it's difficult when you play against Liverpool because they're a good team. Do you know what I mean? And people think that it's rivalry, but it is rivalry. But if Liverpool don't have a strong Everton, they don't do as well. And if Everton don't have a strong Liverpool, they don't do as well, because you need that rivalry, I suppose, in the city as much as you need the respect. And I think respect between the two clubs. We used to look at him and his team, say, right, we need to match these and we need to beat these if we want to win anything, because they were the best team in Europe at the time, to be fair, if not the world, because they never used to play the Mickey Mouse World Games then, did they? But yeah, so I think for us it was a case of, if we could beat these, then we could finish above them. We'd win the league and we'd win a cup. Was it different for you, Ian, when you're through on goal and you're coming up against Neville, a goalkeeper you know so well from training with the national team? Are you psychologically thinking of it any differently, or has it all just happened so fast that it's irrelevant really?
I think it just happened so fast. I think if you think about it, you won't score. It's as simple as that, and that's what happens. And I think I scored 28 goals against Everton. But it would have been 48 only because of Nev. Because people talk about those I scored, but I missed quite a few one-on-ones and all that because Nev was in goal. So people say that I would genuinely have scored like in my 40s against Everton. But when you one-on-one, you don't think about it. You just do what's natural, and that's how you score the goals.
I love hearing about sliding doors moments in footballers' careers, and I know, Neville, you came to football relatively late compared to most people, but was it true, and I think you might have written about this before, like you got a call from Alex Ferguson just prior to them signing Peter Schmeichel, trying to sign you for Manchester United, but maybe tell us how that didn't work out, because again, sliding doors moments, life could have worked out in other ways, but as it was, you didn't end up heading to Old Trafford.
No, I mean, I never give anybody my home number. I didn't even want to give it the club, to be fair. And then one Sunday afternoon I was sat in the house and the phone rang, And he said, picked it up, he said, oh, Alex Ferguson here, when you have off. I thought it was Andy Gray messing about. So I put the phone down, and then 10 minutes later he phoned back and said, oh, it is Alex Ferguson, blah, blah, we're interested in this. And then, obviously, I just said, look, you're going to have to speak to my agent, whatever. But Les Seeley told me at the time, whether it's true or not, that once I'd sat by the post in the Leeds game, he wasn't interested.
Right.
So it wasn't that phone call. It was the fact that I sat by the post he didn't like, so... But to me, you've got to do what you got to do, haven't you?
You got to have... I mean, football's probably missing character at the minute, and characters. You know, you look at different sports that have characters and it increases the interest, and maybe that's an element of it that you need more of that you need the Di-Canios of the world. And
you can't anymore because there's 80 cameras round the ground. No, and the way that society is at the moment, you can't be seen to be doing anything. Do you know what I mean? Imagine if they say anything out of line, they just get absolutely hammered. So they come out, and it's the blandest thing. It's funny now because I watch the telly on a Sunday and that, and then on a Monday you don't read about the game. You read about what the pundits were arguing about. Nothing about the games. It's about what the pundits said. I'm thinking, hang on a minute, where did we switch from having a good game to having whether Ray Keane said something to Jamie Carragher or Gary Neville? I find it quite weird.
Yeah, I think it's right. Neb's right there. I think it's, you know, people say you wish you were playing football today. I don't, because I had a great time off the pitch as well. And that's what it's all about. And we can have stories to tell when we finish playing football. I think footballers today, I don't think they'll have any. And we had a laugh and a joke in the dressing room every day. I'm not sure whether you get that anymore.
Yeah, well,
and also, there's no bollockings anymore.
Yeah.
Because I know for a fact that some of the people don't like raised voices, which is fine in some ways. But the players we played with, some of them, would like an absolute bollocking at half-time to make them play better. So all of them people who want a G-up don't get a G-up because everything's flat. And I think if you look at football now, right, in general, it's all about telling them what they can't do.
Yeah.
Right? It's about you can't play this many games, you can't play this many minutes, you can't train like this, you can't do this, you can't do that. And then I think football's flatlined, and that's why you don't get characters. You don't get players like him anymore. You don't get world-class... If you can name me 10 world-class players, you're doing well. Right?
Well, the other thing is as well, like when you look at the modern game, I mean, you talk about sitting beside the post. You'd have 3.5, 4 minutes to sit beside the post for VAR decisions in the modern game, you know, which totally different.
Yeah, see, my thing is, they're not used to watching telly. Why don't they get the people off Gogglebox to do VAR? Right, and then they're used to watching telly, aren't they?
Drawing lines as well, yeah.
And then, you know, they've changed all the terminology to make it all interesting. Yeah. You know, between the lines and all that. We all play between the lines. That's what's...
Yeah.
So, we play... he's in... And the other thing that gets right on my nerves is, he's a number 6, he's a number 9. What does that mean? His 9 could be different to his 9. It could be different to
false number 9.
False 9, yeah.
A false number 9. Right? Do you know what?
What's a true number 9?
Do you know what a false number 9 is? Somebody who can't play up front and they can't play midfield. So they've got to float around that little area, and they haven't come on a name with him apart from somebody who's not very good.
Yeah.
So you become a false 9. So you don't do the run up front. You don't track back in midfield. You're what we would have called a luxury player, but you only put on the last 10 minutes in the hope that you might get a result. But where are you getting all these numbers from? And they all talk as if it's a different language now. I don't get it. Well, what happened to being a centre half? You're not a centre half, you're the number 4.
No offence to all the false number 9s out there. Take any offence. Like Ian, when you look at, and Neville's brought it up, like when you look at the number of world-class players, maybe granted it is less than it used to be, but someone like Erling Haaland, like seeing him day in day out in the Premier League, it almost feel quite privileged as a football fan now to be able to just watch someone of that talent. Like he's like a robot.
Oh, he's incredible. You know, the man, I think he scored 20 odd goals already. So and he's playing in the right side as well. I think Manchester City. I think if Manchester City would have signed Harry Kane last year, I think Harry Kane would do exactly the same. Yeah. No, they've been looking for a proper number 9, not a false one, a proper number 9. Yeah. And but he's a joy to watch.
Neville, I've read different times, like you're someone who took inspiration from other sports and like, you know, watching whether it be boxers or golfers and trying to, you know, see how they improved balance and agility and different things. There's a great quote from you: if I changed 100 things and got 1% better because of it, it was worth it. Like you talk about minor kit changes, behaviour changes. For you, it seemed to be when you were a footballer, sweat the small stuff essentially, and improve yourself in little ways.
Well, what's the idea of playing football? To be the best. So you have to go through everything all the time to be the best. You don't, and that's the other thing now. I was allowed to do extra. These aren't allowed to do anything extra anymore because they want to get him in. You've done an hour, you better come in because you might get tired. Do you know what I mean? I can't remember anybody in my career or yours saying, "Oh, you look a bit tired. Probably have a day off this week."
I think you only get tired when you're losing, don't you? If you're winning, you'll never get tired when you're winning.
Yeah.
No, I think it's just, if you're going to go and do a job, right, you want to be the best at it. Because somebody down the road, I always thought when I went to training, if I don't do what I want to do today, somebody down the road is going to do it and they're going to be better than me. And I don't want that. I want to be the best. And that's why I like playing against the best. Because that's the way you challenge yourself and get better, by playing against the best.
Well, that's a good point that you raise as well, is that you don't probably get tired when you're winning. And Ian, like one team that maybe is feeling a little bit tired at the minute is potentially Liverpool. Granted, got the job done in their Champions League group, but and then after the City game, everyone's thinking, right, they're going to push on now. This is going to be them. But to lose to Forest and Leeds, two teams you expect to beat any day of the week, for Liverpool's team of Liverpool's calibre. How do you assess what's happening with Jurgen Klopp and that team at the minute?
Well, I just think they had such a magnificent season last season. People expecting the same, and you're not going to get that. We nearly won a quadruple. We had a great season, winning 2 trophies. So the expectations are there. And I do think it's a matter of coming back early. They haven't had enough rest, because of the World Cup coming on. For the UK, we've had a very hot 2 or 3 weeks in UK, and I know Jurgen likes to keep on full training. You've got to do this training, you've got to do training, and they may get tired. And when you get tired, you start feeling sorry for yourself, and things don't happen. And it hasn't happened for Liverpool. I still think they're going to have a good season, but I think it's going to be hard because everyone wants to beat Liverpool. That's as well, and everyone wants to beat Liverpool. And we're looking at the squad rather than just the 11 now. We're looking at the squad of 22, 23, and they have to perform.
Can I just ask you one that struck me on the drive in? I was just looking at the BBC had an article up talking about Hillsborough Chants and the FA kind of clamping down on this as something that seems to have reared its ugly head in football. Look, it's not a new thing. Rival fans chanting about Hillsborough, and look, Munich and other disasters and tragedies are often chanted about. But what's your take on that? As someone who was there on that day, and look, the families have to listen to all this stuff, but it's fairly disgusting stuff.
Yeah, you just got to stamp it out. I think with what's in there now, I think we've got cameras everywhere now, so I think cameras can spot these people, and I think it's down to the clubs as well. The clubs have got to inform the supporters as well, because it just has to stop.
Nothing's going to stop.
Yeah.
Right, because they won't do enough. Right, what they should do, if they're really serious, is all the stewards wear cameras, like the police do, and then report them straight away. And if it carries on, they shut that section of the ground down. And if it carries on, they take the points off the club. Yeah. And that's the only way you're going to get rid of it. Unfortunately, the way society is at the moment, because you can go online and absolutely hammer somebody all the time, and there's no consequence. Everybody thinks they could say what they want now, and there's no consequence to it. So the FA need to grow a backbone, and they need to do something about it. But they're not. They're going to make all the right noises. But how can they stop people chanting? Yeah. It's not about, right. It's not about you and the FA saying don't do it. It's about me sat next to him if he says it, and me policing that and going, no, we're not having that. Mm-hmm. We're not having that but they won't. And there'll be a lot of good people who will try and stop it. But unfortunately, the way society is, it will carry on because and the other thing is they know it hurts. And that's the other thing, they know it hurts. It's disgusting, and I think anybody found chanting like that, or on a homophobic chant, they should be banned for life. And then that might send a proper message. What's the punishment now? You've seen when England play in Europe. What's the punishment for teams where England get racially abused? Yeah. A fine, play behind closed doors? No, throw them out the competition and stop it. Otherwise, it's going to carry on. It's disgraceful. I don't know. I think one of the MPs has wrote to the FA, haven't they? I think Ian Burns wrote to the FA to try and stop it. But come on, if they're shouting, the other clubs should take responsibility for that, and they should police their own people. It shouldn't be up to somebody upstairs to go, actually, oh, you need to do some VAR. It should be the clubs going round, we're not having it, and that's it.
Can I just ask you, lads, finally, and look, we should be talking about this in a positive light, because Wales have qualified for their first World Cup since 1958, and it's an incredible achievement on the pitch, and it's a wonderful Wales team to watch. But then there's the whole issue, and we're having to deal with it in the media, I guess, as well, as to how we cover this Qatari World Cup. There's the sports washing, there's the human rights abuses. I saw you on your Twitter the other day, and I know, Neville, you give your Twitter over to different worthy causes at different points. The LGBTQ plus community and how they're treated over there, and the migrant deaths. I could go on, but how do you both feel about the World Cup generally? Because look, on the pitch we can't wait for the action, but there is that kind of bad taste in the mouth.
You should be asking, what is the criteria for going there? And nobody can find out what the criteria is.
Yeah.
So, people keep saying, well, should players go, should pundits go? Well, that's not the question you should be asking. You should be asking, why is it there?
Why did they get it in the first place?
Yeah, why did Rushe get it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
These should never have it, because there's no actual criteria that I can think of. And I spoke to the lad at Liverpool, the LGBT fellow at Liverpool, and I think he tried 9 hotels before they'd let 2 men stay in a room together. And you're thinking, all of that, I think it's a disgrace that they've actually put it there. As a player, you want to go, and as a country, we've got to go, because we've got to, I suppose, inspire the next generation of footballers, boys or girls.
Yeah, I think Neb's right there. I think this should have been done when the draw was made for the in Qatar, not like 8 years ago or something like that. That should have been done then. It's too late now, because as it's coming up to it, because everyone wants to see the World Cup. It's in Qatar, so we have to get on with it. But no, I think especially for Wales, 1958 was the last time, and it's unfortunate that they have to go to Qatar to see him play again. So hopefully it'll be more in the Europeans next time if they qualify. In
a word, lads, as we wrap up, how far will Wales get, do you think, in this World Cup? I suppose England, USA and Iran in the group?
I think they're looking to. I think they're capable of getting to the second round. I think they've got the USA and Iran, the final games against England. I'm hoping that they've secured enough to 4 points. I think that could qualify for second place. Then you go in against England, looking full of confidence, and you don't really want to be getting to that last game against England where you need to beat them. Even though all the Wales, if you ask some people in Wales, they'd rather lose to USA and Iran and beat England and not qualify rather than do that. I know, but I think we can get to the second round.
What have you Neville, by far?
Well, I look at the 3 teams and think that all of them are beatable.
Right.
So we should get out of the group. And then it's luck of the draw, isn't it?
Yeah,
well, there's no reason why they can't get out of the group, because England aren't having a great time, which might suit them. America, USA are half decent. Iran might be our hardest game.
Yeah.
Because,
Because you expect it to win.
Well, yeah, we expect it to win every year. We don't do so well when we're favourites. Wales are good at being underdogs. So, yeah, but if they get through, then it's up to them. And I really expect them to get through to the second bit, and then it's a matter of luck of the draw, whether your players all stay healthy, because that's the other thing. Yeah. The weather's going to take a lot out of them, and I think we could be looking here. I don't see why you can't get quarter-final, semi-final.
Absolutely. Listen, lads, Neville Southall, Ian Rushe, 2 legends. Thanks a million for your time this afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your time in Dublin. If you get the pints in, enjoy them.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, thanks.